Nope. So I asked you in the last video if anybody had any requests for the next video. So I am doing actually what was the top request, which is a strawberry lemonade soap. So I've taken my limoncello fragrance and my sugared strawberry fragrance and mixed them together, and it smells absolutely delish. I'm going to have 3 different colors with the cold process soap. So I'm going to have this yellow, this pink, this is going to be white, and then over here I have red melt and pour, and I'm going to kind of put that in the middle of it. It's going to be really pretty. I also might lighten up these colors with titanium dioxide as we go along. We'll have to see. So I'm just going to pour my lye water solution down the stick blender. I have made the batch smaller of cold process because I'm putting melt and pour in it, because it wouldn't fit in the molds otherwise. Now I have brought the batter to emulsification. I didn't even bring it to trace because I want to have plenty of time to work with it. So I'm going to set the stick blender off to the side, and I'm going to start splitting this batch up, pouring first into the yellow, and then I'm going to pour some into the pink. And then, so we don't speed up the thickening process, I am going to mix these in by hand. For this yellow one, I think it's going to have little flecks of color in it. I'm not just using mica, I am using some actual color pigment in this from TKB Trading, and I'm also using some yellow Vibrance mica from Nurture Soap. So it's going to be very yellow and should stay very yellow even through the saponifying process. So moving on from yellow, we're going to go to the pink over here, and I have dripped soap on the table, and that really bothers me, but I'm going to have to get over it. Now that the pink is mixed up, we're going to put some titanium dioxide into the white portion of this batch. And I have found that to get a really good white, most of the time you do have to mix it up with a stick blender just for a little while, so it really gets that pigment dispersed really good. And actually, I think it would be a lot easier to pour into the mold if I had all of these in these little pitchers. I hope it all fits. Yay, it does. Gotta scrapey this bowl over here. Make sure all of that mixture is in the bucket. Gonna set that off to the side, and now I'm going to mix these up just a teeny tiny bit with the stick blender. Now I'm going to put just a little bit of the titanium dioxide in both of these colors to make it a little more pastel. Now that that is done, I can bring my melt and pour over here, kind of scrape off this skin on the top and mix it back in because the liquid is still rather warm. And I'm going to add my fragrance oil mixture. So I'm going to mix these up by hand, not with the stick blender, because I want it to stay pretty liquidy because we are doing a drop swirl. And then once I've mixed this all up, we're pouring it into the molds. The first color we're pouring in is the white, which as usual is a little bit thicker than the other colors because that's what titanium dioxide tends to do. And then the next color we're going to pour in is the pink, and then the yellow, and then we're going to do some of the melt and pour. So here's the pink. Just pouring that in wherever. That's kind of the nature of the drop swirl, is just to pour it in and it goes where it wants to. Now here's the yellow. And now the red melt and pour, which I am pouring a little bit higher because I want it to go pretty far into the soap and not sit on the top. Oh no, I splashed it up on the side. Darn it. Okay, I'm just going to kind of try to glue it on the side there so at least it won't get on all the others. Okay, so the white goes next. And I'm going to try to not break that surface a whole bunch. Maybe just a little bitty bit, but not a whole bunch. I'm going to try to break the surface with the pink and the yellow. You can see it's sitting on the top mainly. And I don't want to use the white again, so I am going to scrape this. It doesn't really have to look perfectly smooth on the top because I am still pouring. Okay, I'm going to pour some of the yellow next, again from up pretty high. And now we are going to pour in the rest of the melt and pour. From up pretty high. Again, we want this to penetrate pretty good. Now I'm going to take kind of the gooey extras and just sprinkle it on here real quick. Not gonna spend a whole bunch of time on that. You'll find if you do melt and pour plus cold process soaps, a lot of the melt and pour just doesn't get to be incorporated if it's been on the sides. And now for the last one, I'm going to pour in the pink. Then I'm going to kind of use my spatula to fill in these gaps a little bit, because looks like I'm going to have a little bit of extra soap, which does happen again if you're trying to tailor your batch to be able to accommodate melt and pour. Sometimes you end up with a little bit of excess, but that's okay, because if you put on high tops like I do, you can just mound it up a little bit and it's not a problem. I'm going to give this a little shake just to make sure all those air pockets are up and that the soap is all the way in. If you do have some spillage on the sides like this, it's really not that big a deal. All you have to do is, whenever it's time to release the soap, take a little knife and run it along the sides and they'll pop right up, as will this. Now I am going to scrape the batter out of this bowl and put it on top, and we'll come back and do the piping. Now it is time to do the piping, and the piping I have in this bag is really runny, so I haven't filled up the bag all the way because I want this piping to kind of look like whipped cream instead of being like stiff little peaks, so I can't pipe on top of each other. Like, I can't put like one piping dollop on top of the other because it's still too liquidy for that. But I thought I would at least try to do this first little round and make it look kind of soft and marshmallowy like I said before. Now, I don't know if you saw the video I uploaded last week on my second channel, but it's kind of a big deal. So if you're interested in seeing some really big news that I have, I'd pop on over there real quick, and there will also be a link at the end of this video. Now, I'm not going to discuss the topic in that video, in this video, just in case anyone hasn't seen it, but hopefully, that video announcement will help clear up some of the comments that keep getting left on the Royalty Soaps channel that keep making some people very angry, and it's like making some people happy and some people sad. And just to clear up the confusion, you can pop over there and see what I'm talking about, and then we will discuss it in more detail next week. I had no idea that this soap was going to smell so good, but it really does. That was a really good fragrance oil blend. The little embeds that I'm going to be putting on top look like strawberries and lemons, and then I have some little straws that I've cut up to stick in there. A big fat thank you to the viewer who left a comment on that video. I'm going to kind of cut out your comment and leave it right here so that people can see what I'm talking about. Because while I would love to take full credit for this design, it was pretty much spelled out for me in great detail. So I honestly, not a ton was left up to the imagination. I was just following instructions, which is kind of great, actually. I love being able to do my own creative spin on something that one of your creative minds came up with. So we will definitely have to do that. Another thing that I saw that I really loved was people say do Beauty and the Beast inspired soap. And since Belle is like my second favorite Disney princess, if you know my first, kudos to you. So I should probably do that. I'm really excited about that movie. It comes out on my sister's birthday. I might have to take her to go see it because I am super stoked. I love Dan Stevens. He's the guy that plays the Beast. I loved him in Downton Abbey. I was watching Downton Abbey before Downton Abbey was cool, and I thought he was just an absolutely fabulous actor, so I cannot wait to see him in that role. I am piping today using the Royalty Soaps piping set with the recipe that you will get if you purchase that set from Nurture Soap. It is the only piping recipe I use. I saw a rumor the other day that I was like including one recipe but using another. Nope, I am using the same recipe I included with the piping set. And then of course I'm using the large round tip from that set. Now I'm going to go across the middle bars and put two teeny tiny little dollops here. They are not very big at all. Someone asked me if I get confused when I pipe my soaps because all of the little peaks look pretty much the same, and sometimes I do. I'm not going to lie, but I also have been doing this a really long time, so I'm just used to the way the pattern looks and where I need to put stuff. But yes, I can see how from the outside looking in, especially if you've never made a high top soaps before, it would look really confusing. Okay, and now we're going to put a really good squeeze on the top of each of the bars. Finish it off. Gosh, it looks like meringue. Ooh, so delicious. My favorite type of pie is coconut cream pie, and the thing I love the most about it is like the whipped meringue stuff on the top. Of course, I also really like coconut, but it's really hard to get a coconut cream pie that doesn't just taste like vanilla with coconut flakes. Like, to get one that actually tastes like coconut is like a special secret find. So if anybody in the Texas area knows where I can get one that actually tastes like coconut, you let me know, because I'm going there. Eek, it looks so good. So I'm not putting glitter on it, you guys. It was something I long debated, and Caleb said that for this bar it would probably take away from the fabulous embeds and general idea. So I'm not putting any on, but what I am putting on, as you can see here, are my little lemon embeds. They look so scrumptious, and every single bar is going to get one of these. These are kind of fat little embeds, so I have to be really careful where I place them, because I feel like one misplace and then they'll all be chopped up whenever I go to cut them tomorrow. For those wondering where I got this embed mold, I actually got it from Walmart like 2 years ago during the spring, and pretty much, actually, I'll take that back, during any season. Go look in their seasonal section, and most of the time they have ice cube trays made from silicone. So that's what this is. It's actually just an ice cube tray, and I have gotten them for like every single season. In winter they have like snowflakes, and then around Valentine's Day, that's where I actually got my silicone heart molds. So I'm putting the little straws in next. These are made out of, oh no, I've dropped one. These are made out of plastic, and Caleb has cut them up for me. So I'm actually going to be sticking them kind of on the top right here. I couldn't find the stripy ones. I really wanted the stripy ones, but my local store didn't have them, and you better believe I threw a fit about it. But purple and blue are still really nice colors, so I won't complain too much. Then I'll put the blue ones on this side, and now I will put the little strawberry in. Oh my goodness, this looks so tasty. If I didn't make soap like this and someone showed me this bar of soap, I would be utterly convinced that it was like a piece of cake or something. Don't mind me, just patting myself on the back over here. Last strawberry, and done. Okay, so I'm going to do this loaf, and then I will show you some close-ups. And this is what they look like up close. Mmm, so scrumptious. I cannot wait to cut these bars, so I'll be back in about 24 hours. Well, hello everyone. We are back 24 hours later to cut this soap. So I've had to lay it on the side because the straws will get caught otherwise. So I'm gonna line it up here, make sure that it's even, and I'm just gonna push down very gently, especially because there's melt and pour on the inside of this. You need to go real slow. I'll pull out one for the middle here. This is what it looks like. So you can see the red stayed very separate from the pink and the yellow. And this pink right here is looking kind of peachy, but once it's exposed to the air, it will go pink again. It smells even better today than it did yesterday. It seriously just smells so delicious. So the question for today is, do you like dogs or cats better? You guys know I am a big fat cat person, but I really like puppies. Big dogs, not so much, but I really like puppies. So let me know. You should see a little pop-up appear on the right side right about now that will give you the ability to vote. So we'll see who wins out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and maybe even leave me a comment down below. And I'll see you next time. So until then, have a royal day. Bye for now.